I think when we look at driver recruiting, I was a little bit surprised how involved our process is. Certainly have the initial recruiter conversation, but then there's an additional level of discussion internally. Is the driver potentially a good fit for us? You know, an additional review, and then we have an actual in-person interview. Sometimes that does have to take place on Zoom. We are a nationwide trucking company, but where possible, we actually try to sit down with the person in person. And when we hire drivers very similar to how we hire office staff. It's almost the exact same process, and I think that leads to what we see consistently is lower turnover than the industry average and a lot of our peers. But I think that also helps with the safety practice. Right? We are looking for safe drivers. We hire safe drivers, and if we have a concern there, that's the biggest non-starter for us in terms of hiring. But it also allows us to coach better. I think when we reach out to drivers where we see a behavior that we're concerned about and we want to change, our drivers are willing to listen to it because we've built that trust, and there's already that relationship there that we want to work with them and help them grow and develop and be safe for the motoring public and for themselves as well.
Correct. Yeah, and we don't just have, you send an email if you get a violation or something like that. We follow up, we call the driver. Mike, our safety director, I have myself, and try to just bring this to their attention. So it's like, hey, I know you didn't get a fine, but you did get cited. We can't have that continue to happen.
Yeah, I think the drivers understand what we do here more than other companies when they come through the hiring process. So they get a good understanding of what we do, and some of them find out that maybe they're not interested in that because of all the multi-touch and things that we do. So at least they know exactly what they're getting into, and once they're here, that we have the type of drivers that's what they like to do. They get exercise, they get out of the trucks, they're chatty drivers, they get to talk to customers, so their day isn't just driving 600 miles a day. They get exercise, they get out, they get to communicate with customers. We represent whatever shipper we're working for. So when our drivers are there, you want a driver that's going to be good, because really a lot of these shippers, they only see us. They don't even get to see the company that they're buying the product from. So that's an important piece of the puzzle, to make sure you're representing whatever you're hauling when you're out there.
We had a customer scorecard review yesterday with a customer's newer customer. This was a 3-month checkup, and the scorecard review was really solid. But one of the things that got pointed out in the call, because of what we do and the multi-stops and the fact our drivers are expected to call all the stops ahead of time to schedule and manage their own deliveries, this customer doesn't work in that space. It is more of a traditional one pick, one drop. We schedule all the appointments in the office, and most of these deliveries are to large grocery DCs. There's nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
The scheduling is done online. You get what you get, and you make it happen. Well, we had an appointment for a Friday, and our driver picked up the load and was going to run through the house, decided not to, decided he wanted to keep running. So he picked up the phone and called this receiver to try to get himself in early, and managed to get himself unloaded 24 hours in advance. Customer pointed out that is not only unheard of, it's never happened. And their exact response is, how did the driver do that? There's nobody at this location to talk to, so we can't call and talk to them. We're the customer. Somehow our driver found a way. And that's one thing that I will say our drivers are better at than any group of drivers I have ever worked with. They want to have relationships with the receivers, and they will. They will figure out a way.
Oh, absolutely.